Dana, because
Well,
we
before
love.
we go there, we
Okay,
got
what
Robert
do you
in
want to do?
Ventnor City.
Oh, Robert.
Yeah, Robert,
That's
he
right.
wants to talk about
Hey,
the January
Robert.
6th prisoners.
Hey, what a great interview with Zach. Thanks for highlighting that. So I did a little research on Zach. During his trial, he has repeatedly denied assaulting officers as he was confronted with video of him spraying law enforcement officers with chemicals. Sounds like a real peaceful guy. And by the way, he's a prominent person in the Proud Boys. You failed to mention that. You're pretty despicable.
Oh.
Well,
wow.
thank you for that.
Personal insults your way.
No, here's the thing with people like Robert. I have mentioned a gazillion times, and I've absolutely reported that he was a local Proud Boy president. I absolutely have reported that. And the other piece of it, as you like to name call and then hang up, as if, oh, good for you. Go in your BVDs and jump around the house and take your victory lap. You're a legend in your living room. Good for you. I will say this. The issue of it is that in court at the last minute, as I have reported, if you listen, and I know the vast majority of you are loyal listeners, I have reported everything that happened, every detail. I printed out I have read hundreds and hundreds of pages of these court records over the past 4 years, okay? And I absolutely reported that toward the end of his trial, they presented video where it was not clear video, and you can look it up because I have it. I've put it out on social media, and they put it in the court, although they never charged him. He was never charged, nor was he ever convicted, nor was he ever able to, his defense attorneys argued, were they presented with this so-called evidence so that they could then defend him on it. So they aired it in the court for everybody to see and claimed that he was involved in an area where there was, whether they said that there was like some kind of pepper spray or something, but that was never a charge. So if you are in a court of law and you are charged with something, that's a very different story. So he was never charged with that. My question to you is, well, if they have evidence, alleged video evidence of somebody doing something violent against, and by the way, any of you know me, I am a huge supporter of law enforcement. You know this. I'd like to know what Mr. Fancy Pants, who called Mr. Despicable, as he called me, how many fundraisers have you been to where you were supporting the widows? By the way, hi, Stephanie, saw you yesterday. We were, the widows of law enforcement murdered in the line of duty. Because I do this routinely for my entire adult life. So there is zero evidence that the young man who I just interviewed, zero evidence, zero charges, zero conviction of him doing anything violent. Zero. And this is somebody who fought for our country, served our country honorably as a United States Marine. Those are the facts of the case. That's the tangible evidence I know in a case that I have studied. And so this mudslinging and blurry video, this is the kind of thing that would any of us wish to be, convicted in a public court of law? I don't think so. And if those prosecutors had that tangible evidence, don't you think they would have charged? Don't you think they would have gotten a conviction? No, none of the above. Zero. So that's the truth. But for those of you who listen regularly, what?
Despicable Dawn.
Despicable me. Yes. But see, here's where, cowardly people will listen. And he didn't stay on the line because I would have loved if he had stayed on the line. I would like to know more. But see, he calls, he pretends he's going to be one thing. He calls, he lies, and then he wants to name call and hang up. And so look it up yourself. All of this is public information. And by the way, all of my coverage of this court is the only court case involving the J6ers that I have ever covered. I'm not worried. I'm not really concerned with the non-local individuals. He's our one local guy. And I have covered his case extensively. I have read every scrap and covered every scrap of his court case. I can tell you he was never accused. He was never charged. He was never convicted of anything. remotely close to committing any violence against anybody, let alone law enforcement. That just never happened. So I'm just reporting to you the truth, as you know that I have.
Somebody